Hello, good day, and welcome to the Diary of the Pan-African Preacher. There is an African proverb that says, when a king reigns, it is thanks to the people. When a river sings, it is thanks to the stones. A foundational truth of the Christian faith is that God is represented within every human being. His image and likeness are portrayed in the people. As a preacher in the Pan-African space, I must constantly remind myself that I should treat my fellow Africans in a way that reflects the depth of my belief in God and my commitment to my faith. Many are the instances when God's appointed emissaries have failed to represent the interests of the kingdom of God on the earth. And the King of Kings has had to seek other means to communicate his truth and deliver his works on behalf of the people. This is applicable whether we are ministers of government or ministers of religion, for both are called to serve the people. Therefore, governments and clergy are examples of possibilities for spectacular achievements of good or catastrophic failure and disappointment. Leadership is a divine calling, no matter who we are or where we are, whether in the house of worship, a house of assembly, house of representatives, or the house of industry. We must treat the people as holy, their expectations as sacred, and handle them with righteousness and justice, especially the weak and the vulnerable among us. When we fall and fail in our service to the people as ministers, we are called upon as leaders to admit our wrongdoings, accept the consequences of our actions, learn from our mistakes, and proceed to do better. We should never forget that the impact of our actions is far-reaching. When we get caught up in our feelings and put ourselves and our interests before and beyond accountability to God and the people, we set the stage for a catastrophic failure of mammoth proportions. If history has taught us anything, it is that when the church gets caught up in its own systems, rituals, and traditions and negates the essentials of the very faith it stands for, it loses its way. We lose our moral footing and corrupt our identity with the chief servant of our faith, the Palestinian Jew called Jesus the Christ. The values of righteousness and justice in public and private spaces, good neighborliness, care for the poor and the marginalized in society can be lost in the desire for power, influence, and wealth. We use highfalutin philosophical and theological arguments to justify our wrongdoings and disqualify and disallow those who critique us and those who may not agree with us. However, God is determined to let his voice be heard, even if it means giving voice to the stones to cry out. Yes, judgment begins with the house of God. However, let's not fool ourselves. That's where it should begin, but it does not stop there. The other servants of the people, those in parliament, those in our institutions of learning or institutions of care. They too have to face the courts of righteousness and truth. The ancient countryside preacher, Micah, bridged this gap between pulpit and parliament when he said, God has shown you, O human being, what is good, to do justly, love mercy, and walk humbly before our God. Ashe.